Hi Aquarius, welcome to your January 2018 reading. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be doing this to the table. You know what, everyone else got the shaky table, so I'll leave it, to be fair. If you're new to the channel, I do past, present, and outcome. So what we're going to do is figure out what we have for you. Okay, we have for you for January 2018. And I forgot to say Happy New Year. Okay. So we have in the past Five of Swords. I like seeing a card like that in the past. Let's see what we have in the present. This one keeps popping up. Okay, so we have Five of Cups. Ooh, okay. Two fives. Let's see what we have for the outcome card here. Knight of Cups. Okay. So, let's go ahead and start with the past. You know, you notice I didn't, if you're not new here, normally I would just kind of have a little bit to say, or maybe a lot to say while I'm shuffling, but I didn't have too much to say because I feel like your reading is going to be relatively straightforward. Five of Swords in the past, you definitely had to address some conflicts that were going on, especially when it came to communicating, because I feel like you guys were having conversations, but they weren't really revealing what you were going through. There was a lot of your messages may have been a bit cryptic. Okay, it's like you knew you had to say something, but you would have rather kept things in order, so to speak. And you know, that comes out of a fear, you know, a fear of having to face reality to a degree. Now, I'm not going to say that, oh, you know, that's shame on you, you're the only sign who's ever done that. No, I think it's just an experience that a lot of you went through last year. And it doesn't make you a horrible a horrible person, but it does remind you that you are human, and that while you are known for being very intelligent, because that is true, we still make mistakes, and we still can use our strengths as a weakness. Okay, sometimes we don't even recognize our strengths to be weaknesses sometimes. So I think I said this to Gemini as well. You guys are air, you're definitely about communication at the minimum, and sometimes even when you were speaking and you were talking, you're not saying anything. And sometimes that's a strategy. Sometimes you may do that on purpose. Okay, there's reasons to do that, but when it comes to that going on in your relationship, you know that that eventually leads to a problems down the line. And I think that's what some of you faced, and it's not always necessarily you were the one who was saying a bunch of nothing, you know. It could have been the other way around as well, but I think that was one of the major issues, is that there was a lot of talk, there was a lot of there was maybe less action, more talking than there was action. Okay, normally I don't, you know, I'm kind of like dancing around the subject here. And then maybe that's a lot of what was going on. But I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to focus on this Five of Cups here. Okay. When I think about Aquarians, I really admire a lot of your qualities. Okay, you're very smart. And like I said, when you use your strength as a strength, you're fantastic, you're amazing. A lot of people look up to you. You have a lot of wisdom to contribute, okay? But I will also say you're a fixed sign, so you do have your habits, and you still may be grieving the loss of someone or something, okay? And let's say it is the loss of a relationship, especially with the new year rolling around. I don't know if air signs are going through this right now, but you could be with people, but still feeling like you're by yourself. Okay? And it seems like you may be putting on a front. And Aquarius, I'm going to say it's okay to go through this. It's okay to go through this wave, okay? You are all about wavelengths, okay? It's okay to be on different wavelengths than the people around you. In fact, you may always feel like you are, which could be a problem for some of you right now. Maybe you want to feel more a part of the community that you never felt like you were never a part of. Okay? If my message sounds a little weird, I'm trying to make the most sense, but I feel like you and Pisces would probably understand exactly what I'm trying to say. I feel like you're still grieving the loss of something. And for you, it may take you a long time to get over a relationship that meant more to you than maybe the other person even knew or walked away knowing. Maybe you feel like things didn't end correctly, or that you never really communicated exactly what was going on within. Or maybe you did try, but you felt like your message wasn't conveyed, and maybe that's still on your mind. There's nothing wrong with sitting with that. However, I don't encourage you blaming yourself at this point. Even if you are at fault, if the other person is at fault, where you are right now, it's like this for a reason. This contemplation you're going through is good. It's all well, okay? But like I kind of said before, if you feel alone, it's preventing you from this internal isolation is preventing you from being able to, I guess, properly interact with those who you are actively surrounding yourself by. Maybe it's this whole idea of maybe the new year, you want to make sure you don't repeat what happened last year. You don't want to go through another relationship or even friendships where it seems like you feel the need to put up a front. And putting up a front, sometimes we do that as a defense mechanism. We do it to protect ourselves, you know. And I can't blame you for doing that if that's what you feel more comfortable doing. But at the same time, I think it's time to address that. I think it's time to address why there's a focus on the negativity than the positivity. It's like you're nitpicking at your flaws and you're not allowing yourself to, again, remember that you are still a person. You are still experiencing this humanity with the rest of us. And you can still be different and you can still be weird and quirky while, existing with other people. Because there's others out there like you who are going through similar issues. Excuse me. Going through similar issues. And I think when air signs are not feeling like they are conveying their messages or saying what they really want to say, then it really jumbles up everything. Energetically, things feel off. And as a fixed sign, I say this to all the fixed signs, it may be really easy for you to stick with that habit that doesn't really allow you to thrive and prosper. It keeps you stuck, okay? It's all about the cycles. And while I do think you were able to break a lot of the cycles, or at least one major one last year, especially towards the latter half, I feel like with the wave of the new energy and the new year coming in, and it did kind of start off rough for some people, I feel like you're kind of going back in time and thinking about what you don't want to repeat. But at the same time, it's like you may be stuck with this idea of I shouldn't have to change because I am an individual. I shouldn't have to be so dramatic or drastic because I know exactly what the problem is. so I'll be able to fix it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that mentality is not really putting action behind what you need to do. It's like those thoughts of you knowing that you want something different, but at the same time, not wanting to change. Okay, I'm going to put it bluntly like that. Not wanting to change, you you end up coming to an impasse, which could end up leading you to this point. And the negatives continue to outweigh the positives, and it's really hard for you to look outside of what's going on with yourself, because maybe you're afraid of changing. Okay, you know you need to change something about yourself in order to be happier. Maybe you need to be less afraid of the idea of opening yourself up to someone else, at the minimum, at least one other person. But it's kind of like trying to tell someone, well, maybe why don't you try this? But you're like, but I've survived this long this way. And you know what? I'd rather protect myself and stay in this shell than expose myself and be vulnerable. I don't want to expose my underbelly. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I want things to change. It's like the formula for insanity. You know, and I'm not trying to make light of some people who are going through, you know, mental illness. I'm just saying a phrase like, you know, the formula for insanity, where it's like you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, but expecting a different result. Okay, that was a really long-winded way to get to that, but I feel like you see a lot of this that I'm doing. I honestly feel like I'm channeling a lot of your energy right now, okay? This whole not getting to the point. If that irritated you, that's probably what you sound like to other people, okay? There's been plenty of times where I kind of started reading and then I just stop recording because I'm just like, this message makes no sense. I'm not getting to the point. And I don't like this. I want to start over and try to convey a message and see what I get. But I didn't do that for you. I was thinking about it, but then I thought, no, just keep going. And I think it's because if you were irritated by my long-winded talks about you not wanting to, I guess, hop on change despite knowing that it's necessary, and actually feeling some of the effects of positive energy when accepting that change can be good for you last year, I really feel like that's what you sound like to other people. Some people might be waiting for you to just get to the point. They might be waiting for you to just do something. Okay? Because on the outside, people closest to you, or people who think they're closest to you, let's put it that way, I feel like they know essentially what you need to do in order to change up the game for yourself, okay? I would apologize again for rambling, but I think you needed to hear that and kind of sift through what I was saying to pick out the important message. You know? It's Five of Cups. It's also reminding us that regardless of the situation, you know, there's always a bright side. It's just a matter of you making sure to pay attention to that and build on it. Focus on this than what's happened in the past, okay? Focus on the positivity and what's still being offered to you. There's a lot of friendships and love and kindness that is around you. There's a lot of it. Okay, it's a matter of whether or not you choose to focus on it. Okay, because even whether you like it or not, the people, like I said, who are closest to you or who you think are closest to you see what's going on. Okay, they see what's going on. In some cases, they may have already told you their 2 cents, and you had a choice to listen and heed that advice, or to completely disregard it because comfort. There is comfort in habits because we already know what to expect. But like I said, that formula for insanity, you're expecting something different, but some of you may not be doing anything different. Yet at the same time, you know you got to do something different. Something else has to come from your part, energetically. You know how powerful you are, but something's holding you back. And I think it's a matter of perspective and focus, and rightfully so, a fear of not being able to, make the change that you're wishing for. Though, remember, in the tarot, you are the star card, which is a wish card. When you guys focus, your energy is very, very potent. In fact, I associate you guys with the strongest forms of telepathy, okay? You can use that to your advantage. And for good. All right, you have a lot of power, and, it's okay to question things. It's okay to have certain habits, but if you know you've got to do something else for your own sake, make the change on your part. And on top of that, you don't have to be afraid of communicating what you are trying to do. You don't always have to go on this road alone, okay? You don't have to. Because there's people outside who care about you and who pay attention to you, who know what you're going through. They've been through it too. Maybe you've just never had the conversation. But in this outcome card, we see Knight of Cups, okay? We see Knight of Cups. And I feel like this is you possibly confiding in somebody about what you are really feeling, okay? What's going on with you. Knights also carry the energy of fire. I'm sorry, the element of fire. Energy, same thing. Of fire. So there's a bit of a wild streak here with this person. There's a bit of a wild energy. And this whole notion of me kind of talking and rambling, I feel like this is somebody who will allow you to do that. Okay? They will allow you to do that, and they'll let you know when you're doing it, but it actually won't make you feel uncomfortable. When they point this out to you, it's okay. It might make you a little uneasy, but it's okay, because you know that you can trust them. You know that they're actually genuinely listening to you, because they want to hear what's going on with you. They want to hear what's going on inside. They're actively playing a part in your life. And that, I think that's kind of scary for some of you out there. Okay? Someone actively playing a part in your life is kind of, it's like the idea of disappointing them is, it freaks you out a bit. Okay? The idea of disappointing them freaks you out. I don't think you like it. And some of you may get mad at me saying this, but it's like you have to go through that feeling. You have to go through expressing yourself and experiencing, this kind of form of dependency, this disappointment, this possibly disappointing someone. But it's odd, because in the past, some of you were not afraid to disappoint other people. It was a whole notion of, you know what, I'm different, I gotta do me, I'm protecting myself, I'm just gonna go. That's kind of that fight or flight thing that people complain about with you guys. That detachment that can be very useful and that can be admirable, but how are you utilizing that detachment? Like, are you at a point where you can recognize that maybe the way you went about some things was truly, truly disappointing for the other person on the receiving end? Now you're exposing yourself to that feeling now when you communicate with this individual. Because I feel like this knight is clearly looking off to the left, and I feel like this is you talking about the past, but also reaching out to the past, okay? I don't know if this is some of you apologizing. Let me clear. I know there's Aquarians out here who are not out here trying to destroy people's lives, and even the ones I've been talking about, I'm not saying you're out here trying to destroy people either. But we do, all of us have our flaws. We have our pros, and we definitely have our cons. And right now, at the beginning of the year, I feel like addressing our cons straight on is going to benefit us for the rest of 2018, okay? And I'm picking up that one of your major cons right now is just fearing vulnerability. Still fearing vulnerability. Though I see a willingness for you to embrace it, there's still that inherent fear, and that's the steps that we're going to be taking this year, is to get over that, to try to get over that as much as we can, because we know we have to express ourselves thoughtfully and constructively and productively. We can't keep cycling through these relationships and then expecting something else to happen. Okay. This isn't a bad reading. It's just pointing out something that I think you already knew, but it's coming to the surface, and you've been feeling it for a while, I think. Especially with this card right now. You know what you're more focused on, and you know what you need to be more focused on. It's a matter of you putting action behind it. You know when you shift your energy just how much you can change your own world, and it's a matter of you actually doing it. You want to shift how your dynamics are with your close friends and the people who you want to bring in romantically, or the people that you are engaged with romantically. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta be okay with being vulnerable sometimes. Okay? Because I feel like your partner may not be afraid to be vulnerable with you. So, Aquarius, your reading was pretty chill. I think that's good. I'd rather have chill energy than super frantic energy. Don't worry about this reading, and I'm sorry if you're disappointed in it, and I'm sorry if it's, now I'm going to say, I'm sorry if it seemed like I was rambling throughout the whole reading. But at the same time, I feel like I had to ramble. At least for this recording, I had to ramble because maybe that's what it feels like you're doing. Or maybe that's what you want to do. Like I said before, you want to confide in someone who you can do a lot of this with, and they won't cut you off, they won't judge you, they won't make you feel like shit. There's still a lot of young energy here, and I think there's a lot of things you need to say, and you're very passionate in how you want to express it. You just want that freedom to say what you want, how you want, in a moment. Being able to share honestly. And I think you can. It just takes some action on your part, because I think there's someone out there who's willing to match your wavelength, okay? There's someone out there who's willing to lend their ear to you. Okay, just do your part. And you'll be fine. Okay? You will be fine. So with that, I'm going to end your reading. I'll be honest with you, you had the most relaxed reading and probably one of the more direct ones. Okay? And I think that's really good. Alright? So, please do your best to keep the faith, okay? This can be done, and it doesn't have to be scary. I think once you get past it the first time, it's going to be a breeze the next time. Because it's not a one-time thing, you expressing yourself. Once you finally get that out of the way, you're going to keep going and going, and it's going to feel even better, and you're going to feel that energy shift. You're going to start to feel that flow of positive energy coming into your life. Okay? Regardless of what this is talking about. But it's definitely dealing with a relationship somewhere in your life. Okay? So, enjoy the rest of your January. This is pointing out a great start to the year, okay? Let's point out the cons. Let's point out what we need to fix so that we can have an amazing 2018, okay? Bye-bye.